My name's Guy Felicella, and I'm a former drug user who had to be brought back to life 6 times. What I do today is I work for the BC Centre on Substance Use and also Vancouver Coastal Health's Regional Addiction Program. My job is really to advise on drug policy, the overdose crisis, harm reduction initiatives, and also build the recovery support networks across the province. I've been given the freedom to voice my concerns of the past, but also where we're going in the future. The problem isn't people who use drugs, the problem is how we view it. And oftentimes what happens is that drives people to use alone and not reach out for support. We have an alarming amount of people dying every single day. We just lost over 2,000 people in 2021, been in a public health emergency since 2016. Over 80% of the people who are dying of a drug overdose are dying alone, and 50% of those are dying in private residence. So that could be a house just like yours. The overdose crisis isn't just in the downtown east side or in areas of poverty. It could be right next door, and it's actually closer than a lot of people think. This is in every community, in every workplace, in every school system. And if we don't actually change how we view people who use drugs, eventually this will impact you directly if it already hasn't. If you would assume that in your company that nobody uses illicit substances, then I would say that you're pretty naive, because somebody in your corporation is using those substances, and how you view that will actually hinder them on reaching out for support. I think the main thing that we have to do is educate people properly and let people know that if they are struggling, that there is support and that there is help for them. My biggest passion is really to have lived experience people doing educational talks in all schools across the country. I think we have to understand that giving kids the knowledge of drug policy, its underlying roots of where it started from and where it is today, and just how that if you are struggling with substance use, that there is support and help for you. When they hear of a speaker coming in, they think it's going to be one of those drug talks, and afterwards they've come up to me and said it was actually one of the most eye-opening experiences of my life. And how can I make a difference in society of understanding what our drug policies are rooted in, and how can we change those to really support people instead of punishing people for using those substances. Oftentimes we still have the old guard of, if you use drugs, you're bad, don't use them. I never tell anyone to use drugs. However, if they are using substances, I definitely want them to understand what they're using and how to use them safely so that they don't overdose and die. Because in today's day and age, the drug supply is really poisoned, and unfortunately, first-time use can result in death. I don't support harm reduction over recovery, and I don't support recovery over harm reduction. I support people.